Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series where we're working together through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day when you're working through your paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be fab, and please do subscribe and share the videos. And now we're going to crack on with paper B from the 2018 grade 3 practice paper booklet. So if you turn with me to page 7, and we'll have a look at this together. Now, I always recommend that you have a go of this on your own first of all. I realise I'm repeating myself, but it's really important because you'll learn much more thoroughly through your mistakes. It doesn't matter if you go wrong. Always write in pencil and then have an eraser to hand and you can just rub it out and have another go. So I'm hoping you've had a go of this, and now we're going to work through these questions together. So question 1 is asking us to add time signatures to each of these 5 examples. So we've got 5 separate melodies which will require 5 separate time signatures. And so let's make a start of this together. Now the first job is to decide what our bottom number is. Are we going to be counting in simple time or compound time as well? So glancing through, I think this second bar is perhaps the easiest one to start us off. Don't be confused by the triplet, that just means 3 in the time of 2. And so we can see we've got a group of 2 there, and then this one here is a group of 2. 2 semiquavers equal 1 quaver, 2 16th notes equal 1 8th note. So we can see we've got 2 groups of 2, and so we are going to be counting in crotchet beats, and there are 2 crotchet beats per bar. And we'll just check that here. There's 1 crotchet beat. We have half of a beat here, that quaver, that 8th note, and then 2 semiquavers, 2 16th notes equals half a beat, half of a crotchet as well. So we can see we've got 2 beats there. So 2 4 would be the answer there. Alternatively, you could refer to that as 4 8. That's still simple time, and mathematically it works out the same. So either of those will do. Let's press on to the next one. So now this one, just glancing through, we can see here quite easily and here quite easily that we're in compound time. We're in groups of 3. 1, 2, 3 quaver beats. There's 1, 2, 3 quaver beats, or 3 8th notes there. There's 1 1/2 quaver beats. So that half of a quaver with this semiquaver or this 16th note will give us the second, and then there's our 3rd quaver beat or 8th note beat. So we can see we're in compound time, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quaver beats in a bar. Let's check this in the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 over 8, which is compound time, which is 2 groups of 3, which we can see quite easily there. We need 2 dotted crotchet, 2 dotted quarter note beats. There's 1 group, there's the second. There's 1 group, there's the second. So that confirms that. Let's have a look at this next one. So now then, we know that 4 demi-semis or 4 32nd notes are the equivalent to 1 quaver, 1 8th note. So we have 1 8th note, 1 quaver there. This divides into 2 quavers, and so we can see that the only time signature that would fit is 3 over 8, 3 quaver beats, 3 8th notes per bar. If we tried to count that in crotchets, we'd have an incomplete beat if we were counting in quarter notes, and if we were trying to count in minim beats, in half notes, there wouldn't be enough to complete a bar, so it has to be 3 over 8. And we'll just check that in this next bar. We have 1 quaver beat, 1 8th note here, and then this dot is half as much again, which with this semiquaver, this 16th note, gives us our next quaver, 1, 2, 3. So we can see 3 over 8 is the answer that we're looking for there. Let's press on. Now here, this one straight away we can see it's a massively long bar, and we can see as well that we're probably not going to be counting in quaver beats, nor are we going to be counting in crotchet beats. We're likely to be counting in minim beats, so let's check that out in half notes. So we have one semi-breve divides into 2 minims or 2 half notes, and then here, there we have our next one, next half note. Here we have our next half note or minim. We can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 minim beats, 4 over 2. If you find that really difficult mathematically, you could count it in crotchet beats to begin with, or quarter notes. So there we have a crotchet beat and a crotchet beat, which we can then sort of shrink down in terms of time signature to just 1 minim beat, 1 half note. Let's do that here in this next bar. So quaver, quaver, 2 eighth notes make a crotchet or a quarter note, 2 quavers make a crotchet or a quarter note, and all of that together gives us our minim beat. We have 1 crotchet beat here, and then the half of that again with the quaver or the eighth note here gives us another crotchet or quarter note, which together gives us our minim beat, our half note. So we've got 1, 2, and then we can see that that divides into 2 minims or 2 half notes. So there we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, just to double check that. Let's have a look at the next one. Now again, don't be put off by these triplet signs, don't let that confuse you. It simply means 3 in the time of 2. So we have 2 semiquavers, 2 16th notes worth of music. We're only concerned with the maths, we're not performing this. And we have a quaver beat here, and we can see that that would give us a crotchet or a quarter notes equivalent there. So let's carry on and just work this one out. Here we have, if you find the maths difficult, we can break it down. Let's think of a crotchet beat here as a whole beat. We'll divide it into quarters. So we have a quaver or an eighth note, which is half of a beat, if we're counting in crotchets or quarter notes. Then we have the dot, which is half as much again. So we add on a quarter, and then we have this semi-quaver or 16th note, which gives us our other quarter. So we can see all of that together as a full crotchet beat. So is this. Now we have 1 beat here, and then we have a half a beat again, with the dot, half of 1 is a half, and then we have a half a beat here in this quaver rest, this eighth note rest, and those two together, the dot and the quaver rest, the eighth note rest, give us our next beat. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 beats per bar, so we could say 4 over 4. So again, we can see there's our full crotchet beat. This is the same timing again, so we can see that we have another beat there, and then we have 1 there and 1 there. So 4 over 4 is our answer. Alternatively, you could call that common time. That's the symbol for common time. Alternatively, again, you could be understood for saying it could be 2 over 2, which is the ABRSM split common time. So mathematically that would work out the same, and it's still in simple time. So any one of those would do to answer that question. Let's move on to the next question. So we're still looking at time signatures, but this time we're going to be completing some bars, and we're completing the bars with the correct rest or rests. That's the important part there, because oftentimes we need to do more than one rest, because if you remember, the general rule is each new beat requires a new rest. So let's just bear that in mind. We need 3 crotchet beats, 3 quarter notes per bar. So let's see what we've got so far. We've got 1 beat here, we've got half a beat here and half a beat here. So that makes 2 beats. We should have 3, so we are 1 beat missing. However, it would not be correct to just fill that gap with a crotchet or a quarter note rest, because as I just said, each new beat requires a new rest. So we need to split that to complete that beat and then show the start of the next beat. So we have half a beat here, so we finish that with half a beat rest. So there we can see is beat 1, and then we begin beat 2 with half a beat rest, and there's beat 2 completed. So we can see there's beat 1, there's beat 2, there's beat 3. It's not just enough to fill in the maths, we need to show each crotchet or quarter note beat. Let's carry on. So we have 1.5 beats here, we have 1 beat here, that's 2.5 beats. So we need to finish beat 2, there's beat 1, we've got half of beat 2 completed. That leaves us half a beat left, a quaver rest or an 8th note rest to complete beat 2. There we go. Let's press on. So 4 semiquavers, 4 16th notes gives us a crotchet or a quarter note. There's 1 beat, there's 2 beats, we need 3, and we're simply showing beat 3 with a crotchet or a quarter note rest. Let's press on. Now we're in 12/8, which is a compound time signature. That means we need to show each group of 3, each dotted crotchet beat. It's a group of 3 quavers or 3 8th notes, and 12/8 has 4 of these, so we need to show beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. So we need to reflect that in the way we group our rest. So here's beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's this last beat that we've got to complete. So how many quavers or 8th notes have we got so far? So there's 1, there's 2. So we need another semiquaver or 16th note to complete the third of this group of 3 quavers or 8th notes. So all we need to do is show a semiquaver or a 16th note rest. Let's look at this last bar. So here we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So far we have half of a bar with this dotted minim note, and if you remember, we can put a bar showing a complete half, we can put a rest showing a complete half a bar, so long as it doesn't cross over the middle point of the bar line when it's in quadruple time, whether it's 4/4 or 12/8, we don't beam or put a rest straddling over the halfway point. And that's not the case here, so we don't need to break it down into rests like that. We can just simply put a dotted minim rest. So that's that question completed. I do hope that's helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that would be really great. And please do subscribe to my channel and keep updated. Please do share the videos out. And also please do have a browse around all of the free resource and information that's available to help you on my website. So do go to sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.